So today's class will be a general flow. It'll definitely get your heart going and get you a little bit sweaty. And my cat Tad will be running in and out of the room like a crazy cat. I don't know, for some reason he like starts off in the office, which is all the way back, and he sprints around the corner, and he doesn't, I don't know what he's running from. It's just he does that sometimes. So if you see that, he's fine. He's just being weird. So I'll announce it again since more people are coming in. Please donate your dollars today for class instead of us to this fund. I will put the link in again. Oops. It's called Reclaim the Block. It's a Minneapolis run charity that helps organize city council and community members to move money away from the police department into other areas of the city's budget. And every class this week, I'll be asking you to donate to a different charity instead of us. Please donate to them directly. It's just easier, so we don't, like, there's no reason for the money to pass through our hands before them, so just go to them directly. And this is more work for me. I can't do all that. All right. Let's get ready to start since it's 11:04. Can everyone hear me? Quick thumbs up from some people. Cool, thanks. We're going to be starting on a wall, and you don't have to have your mat near the wall. We're just going to start there for a couple minutes and then move to the mat. So don't worry if your mat is not near a wall. Let me just make sure. We're all muted. All right, cool. Well, let's begin. Oops. Start my Instagram. All right, so I wanted you all to feel a little bit sweaty today. It's Sunday morning, it's not a night class. We're not going to sleep after this unless you just want to nap all day. So we're going to start today with a wall sit. Aren't you excited? So we're going to start with a wall sit. Let's try to start with a minute and a half and see how we do. And I have a timer, so don't worry. So maybe you can start off a little bit high up, unless you want to go right down into that 90-degree angle. Oh, start your playlist. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. Pause. I always do that. All right. Solitude, candle mass. Boom. I did pause the timer, so don't worry. All right, back to the wall. Go. Sorry about that. Try to place your back against the wall, pressing the lower spine into the wall, pressing the feet down. Breathing. Maybe a little neck stretch left and right. Sorry if you can hear my cracking neck. Maybe turn your chin to the left, looking over to the left, stretching out the upper spine. Turning your head to the right. Dropping the chin down. Maybe even interlacing the hands behind the head. Letting the stretch get deeper here. Maybe come down a little bit lower, making it harder for yourself. See, we're almost there already. You only have about 12 more seconds. You got this. Maybe you make it really hard for yourself right before we finish. 3, 2, and nice job. Coming up, let your back and your bum hit the wall. Your feet can be out about 1.5 feet in front of you and just drop down to forward fold. Maybe bouncing out the legs, bending them and straightening them a little bit. Nice. Coming to stand, face the wall. Taking a calf stretch, so lift up the left foot, left heel on the floor, and we're just leaning into the wall. Just stretching out the backs of the legs. Such a beautiful day today where I am. It's gonna be a perfect day to go on a walk. Switch sides. Right heel down, right toes lifted on the wall. Starting your pranayama even here, your breath. Nice. From here, we're going to take the left palm on the wall, left elbow on the wall. We're going to turn our body to face the right, left foot in front of the right, and put the right foot back behind you. And gently press the chest open to the right side. We want to open up the pectoral muscles and the shoulder. Breathing here. Using the feet as leverage. The feet will really get you into that twist. Breathe into that left armpit. Take 2 more deep breaths. Let's switch sides. Right palm and right elbow to the wall. Turn to face the left. Let's let the right foot come in front, left foot going back, and leverage your body, twisting to the left. You can adjust your hand as needed. Breathing. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Nice. Slowly release. All right, and let's come down onto the mat. Let's go into tabletop. From tabletop, start to move the hips side to side. The hips are super tight today. From here, we're going to get right into it. Tuck the left toes, extend the right leg back, and extend the left arm forward. Actually, I'm going to move a little to the left, so I'll kick my bookcase while I do this. Reaching forward and back. You can point the toe or flex the foot if you want. From here, we're going to draw the knee to elbow, rounding the spine. Extend it forward and back. Keep the leg and arm straight and open the arm to the left side and the foot to the right side, pointing the right toes forward. It's very awkward. It's very hard. It's an IT band workout for sure. Whew. Let's kick it back and reach forward. Knee to elbow. Inhale, extend forward and back. Swing to the side. Reach forward and back. And then we're going to reach back with the left hand, bend the knee, grab the foot, press into the hand. Little back bend to start your practice. Kicking up even higher. Nice. From here, come back into your tabletop. Let's bring both feet back and come into a side plank on the right hand, swinging onto the right side of the right foot. Stacking the feet. Reach up for 3. Good, for 2. Lower the left hand down. Draw the right knee towards your nose and kick out the foot to the left. So we're in a fallen warrior here. We're going to start by lowering the left heel to the right side, opening that left arm up. From here, bring the sole of your right foot to the ground and start to bend into the right knee, kind of shifting to the left and back, into the left and back. Lower the left hand down, lower the right hip to the ground, and slowly walk the hands over to the right side of your mat. Take a breath. Feel this nice twist and this nice IT band stretch. If you want it deeper, you can even move your hands further to the right and twist even more. Walk the hands back. Let's take it back to plank. And let's lower the knees down for the other side. This time you tuck the back right toes and you extend the left leg back. This time the right arm reaches forward. Keep it strong. Inhale to stay. Exhale, knee to elbow. Extend forward and back. Swing the arm to the right, leg to the left. Little balancing act. Swing forward and back, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, swing around. Inhale, extend. Exhale, touch. One more time, inhale, reach. Swing around. Extend forward and back. Reach back with the right hand, grab the foot. Pull open the chest with the foot, pressing the foot into the hand. Nice. Hand and knee down. Come into plank pose and then side plank on the left side. Left hand down, right arm lifts. Holding for 3. For 2. And 1, lower the right hand down. Left knee comes in and kick it out to the right side. Come on to that right heel and peel the chest open. Ooh, on my blanket. Open up the chest. Bring that left sole of the foot to the floor. Start to bend into that left knee, shifting forward and back. Almost like a weird little side lunge. Right hand comes down, left hip lowers to the floor. Walk the hands to the left. Close the eyes and breathe. Walk me even further if you want a deeper twist. Nice, walk the hands back to center. And let's step it back into plank pose. Inhale, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. Press the hands down into the floor. From here, left foot to center, inhale the right leg up. Draw knee to nose and lean forward. Exhale. Inhale, extend and lift. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale and lift. Knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift, and open the hip. If you want to take a little bit of a back bend here, you can drop the foot down behind you. Take like a little wild thing or reverse tabletop. Or reverse, whatever you want to do here really feels good. Let's come back down, hand lowers, reaching that right leg up. And foot comes between the hands, lower the left knee down for a low lunge. Sweep the arms up. I'm already sweaty. You can interlace the hands, take a little rest with the hands on the right thigh. From here, let's come down onto the right hip and swing that left knee a little bit to the left. So the left knee is bent and the foot is next to us. You can always sit on a block here. Right leg is kicked out forward in front of you. So adjust as needed. Inhale, reach the arms up. Reach forward towards the right toes and grab that right leg anywhere you want. Maybe the ankle, maybe the toes if you can reach them. Take a few breaths. Maybe fold all the way down and drop the chin to chest. Now you can also take this with the left foot on the inner right thigh if that other pose doesn't feel great for you. And just remember that when we go into the other side. Nice. Swing the feet around. Let's start with tabletop. And then we're going to lift the hips for downward facing. Pedal out the heels a couple times. Right foot to center, left leg sweeps up. Knee to nose, lean forward. Inhale, lift. Knee to right elbow, twist. Inhale, lift. Knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift. Open the hip. And you can drop that foot down if you'd like. My blanket's in the way today. Reach the left arm up or back, whatever feels good for you. Your option, whatever helps you be expressive with this pose. Let's come down, left hand comes down, lift the left leg, reaching up, knee to nose and step it all the way through. Low lunge. Right knee is to the floor. So you can sweep the arms up. You can interlace the hands, maybe the opposite way you did before. Take the hands to rest on the left thigh. Take a few breaths to stay here. And we're doing the same thing as the other side. If it works for you, you can kick out the right knee to right side, have the foot pointing behind you and kick the left leg in front of you. If it doesn't feel good for this half saddle pose, you can lift up the foot and bring the right foot to the inner left thigh. From here, we're lifting up the arms and exhaling forward fold, grabbing that left leg, left toes, left thigh, whatever you can reach. Melting down towards that left knee. You can always round the spine once you feel comfortable. Take a few breaths. And nice. Let's come around, swing the feet behind you. Tabletop. Lifting the knee, lifting the hips. I'm gonna lift the right leg up. Bring the right foot forward. We're coming into that low lunge again, swinging the arms up. From here, we're lowering the hands, heel toeing the right foot to the right side of the mat, bringing the right arm inside of that right leg. Adjust as you need. If you have your props and you need a little bit of support here, feel free to come up on the blocks with each hand. You don't have to be this deep in the pose either. Your hips can be lifted. And if you're this lifted here and it hurts the left knee to be directly on it, you can always slide a blanket or even fold the mat on the left side and put the left knee down on top of the mat. If you have your blocks, oh, Chad, I didn't even know you were in there. You can lower down onto your forearms on the blocks or on the floor if you want to take the pose that deep. Let's stay here for a little bit, breathing. And yes, your inner right foot, show you here, your inner right foot can lift off the floor to allow that right knee to swing out to the right side. I've definitely talked about it before in some of my classes when we do this pose. It can have a lot to do with obviously flexibility, but also the shape of your hips, the depth of your hip joint, and the length of your femoral head that is in your hip socket. Take a few breaths. Feel free to find whatever movements feel good in every pose today. Nice. From here, let's lift the hips up a little, bring the foot a little bit closer to the center, but it doesn't have to be directly in the center. I'm going to bring my right hand outside and lift up my right toes for a half split. I'll move these so you see you don't have to use the blocks. My hands are on either side of my right leg. You can tuck the back toes if that feels better, and bow down over the right straightened leg. There can obviously be a little bend in the knee or a big bend in the knee, whatever you need. Take a few breaths. No need to rush. Nice. From here, we're going to walk our hands over to the left side of the mat. We're going to come onto both feet, so tuck the back toes and lift the left knee. Point the toes in toward each other and forward fold toward the floor. You can take your fingertips and reach through your legs toward the right side of your mat. If you have a headstand in your practice, feel free to come into that. I recently found this really cool headstand variation. So if you have a headstand and you want to practice this version, feel free. Definitely for people that feel comfortable coming into headstand in this pose. So my right forearm is down and my hand is angled toward my head. My elbow's angled toward my right foot a little bit. My left hand is down on the floor, a little bit further back from my right hand. My head comes down to the floor. I'll come back up a little bit. Let's see if I can do it today. Oh. It's not easy, but it can work if you already have the headstand. Ooh. It's the only inversion I'll do today, I think. Let's walk the hands over to the left foot. Reach that right hand on the outer left ankle. Look to the left shoulder and reach up with the left hand. Nice. Other side, walk the hands to the right foot. Grab the outer right ankle with the left hand. Look to the right shoulder and reach the right arm up to the sky. Nice. Hands come to line the front right foot, point the right toes forward, tuck the back left toes. Let's take a vinyasa, step back for plank, high to low. Inhale, upward facing to downward facing. Now I'm gonna switch to look behind me, so when I do the other side, you're not just seeing my back side. From here, that left leg lifts up. Left knee draws forward, step through, low lunge. Let's swing the arms up. Take a couple breaths. Lower the hands down. Heel to the left foot, to the left side of your mat. Left arm comes inside of the left leg. So we're in that low lunge, opening the hip. My knee really comes kind of flopping out to the left because of the shape of my hips. I found that if I don't let that knee open up to the left side, there seems to be a pinched nerve, probably my sciatic nerve. So it only seems to be bad on the left side, but just listen to your body, find what works for you. If you like to come down into the forearms, you can. Or you want to stay lifted and come out of the pose a little, that's fine as well. It's not about what the pose looks like, it's about what the pose feels like. So if the pose feels really deep for you when you're lifted up and you're lifted a little out of the pose, then that's fine. That's the pose you need to do and you're doing it correctly. Nice. Let's heel to that left foot closer to the center. Left arm comes outside of the left foot. Lift the hips up and back, flip the left toes to face up, and bow down over the left leg in your half split. Take a few breaths here. Listening to the music. Listening to any of the sounds from the outside. Maybe you hear birds, maybe traffic. Maybe you hear silence. If you have your music on, can you feel the music driving through the floor, through your mat, through your body? Or is it just playing quietly in the background? Let's bring the left hand to the right side of the mat. Come onto the feet, tuck the back right toes, and lift the right knee, forward fold, tucking the toes in, forward fold. You can bring the hands through between the legs. You come into your headstand. You can grab opposite ankles with the same hands, so right hand to right ankle, vice versa. Gently pulling yourself into a deeper forward fold, rolling the shoulders down and back, trying to allow the shoulders to be far from the ears. From here, let's bring the hands down. We're going to do this on this side because it's not necessary on both sides. We're going to look over to our right foot. We're going to let the left heel come closer to us. So draw the left heel closer to the center of the mat and come and sit down on that right heel. So left toes are flexed up. We're sitting on that right heel. So we're coming into Skandasana. So we can walk the hands over to the left foot and flex the right toes up. So go back and forth at your own pace. If you want to take a bind on each side, you can wrap the arm behind the bent knee and the hand behind the back. See if you can grab it. Maybe you see if you can lower the heel down to the floor that you're sitting on. I personally, it's a really hard thing for me to do. It takes a lot of effort. Maybe it comes naturally for you. And just kind of walk back and forth a few more times at your own pace, exploring the pose. It can be a very intense area to stretch. The inner thighs, the groin area. All right. Taking your last side now. From here, let's come to center. And we're just going to lower the knees down facing the side of the mat still. So we're going to take a frog pose from here. Since we're already kind of warming up the groin and the inner thighs, let's take the knees out a little further, wider than the hands. Now, if the mat is thick enough for you to do this without your knees hurting, that's great. Otherwise, you can take the mat on either side and fold it in and place the knees on the folded part of the mat. Obviously, if you have a blanket, that can be really useful here. Open it up to the length of your mat. It's always nice to keep a blanket near you anyways for yoga, for Shavasana. So there's different ways to do frog. I'm going to start by widening the knees until it feels like, okay, this might be the width I want today. And you can have your toes pointed out in opposite directions, so the inner part of the foot is on the floor. And you can stay lifted if that feels already like a deep stretch, especially if your knees are very wide. If you want to bring it down to another level, you can go ahead and see how it feels to bring your forearms down. You can try a different version of frog, and I'll kind of lower down so you can see my feet behind me. You can, instead of having your toes pointing away, you can draw your toes in toward each other. And I'll face the back for a moment so you can see that. So here's one version of frog. And there's the other version, lifted or lowered. Feel the difference. and find what feels good for you. And if your toes are pointed more close together, maybe you pulse forward and back. So we're gonna stay here. Let's take about 6 breaths. Maybe slowly pulsing forward and back, just like a centimeter. Barely moving, but you can definitely feel it. If you have a bolster and you like doing this pose now, just try it with a bolster and you'll like it even more. It's really nice to do as a yin pose. And obviously, if you do this as a yin pose on your own time, make sure you're taking the least dramatic version of the pose, because yin is all about holding poses for a longer time in a passive way. So you definitely want to not be in the pose as fully as you can, because it will get more intense as time goes on. And that goes with any pose, really. Nice. From here, slowly draw the toes together. Come to your hands if you're down and sit down onto the heels, bringing the knees a little bit closer together. Let's have a tabletop pose. Hands under the shoulders, knees move side to side. Let's walk the knees, both of them together, over to the left side of your mat, and then lower the right hip down. Should feel really nice after that frog pose. And you can walk the hands over to the right side. Nice. Hands walk back to center, lift up on the knees. Walk both knees together onto the right side of your mat. Come to the left hip down on the floor, and the hands can walk to the left. Nice. From here, we're coming back to our tabletop. I'm moving my blanket out of the way, so I'll just slip on it, knowing myself. Tabletop, and then we're tucking the toes and hovering the knees just a couple inches off the floor. Hug the belly in towards your spine, around the lower spine. Hugging here for 5, 4, press down, hug the belly, 3, 2, and 1, lift the knees, lift the hips. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here, we're looking forward. We're just gonna step one foot then the other for forward fold, standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. In your forward fold, go ahead, bend one knee at a time. Maybe even looking side to side as you do it. Letting your neck release completely toward the ground. Your head is nice and heavy, releasing all of that weight from your head. Let's bend the knees, sweep the arms up, and come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, hugging the belly in, rounding the lower spine. So there's different versions of chair, and that you can do this, you can lift the tailbone, but I would rather you tuck the tailbone underneath and bring your core more into play here. Hugging the belly in, rounding the spine, and you can lift the chest as you round the lower spine. Bring the hands to heart center, stay in your deep chair. Reach the arms up again. Exhale, twist to the left, twisting chair. Inhale to center. Hands heart center to the right, twist. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to left. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to right. Let's do it again, one more round. Inhale, reach, exhale, twist. Inhale, reach, exhale to the right and stay. We're starting to lift up that left heel, leaning into that right leg. And let's see if we can step the left foot back for a lunge in our twist. This pose does get easier the more you try it, I promise. Trying to see if you can look more to the right side. Now we're going to slowly transition to warrior two. So let's have our hands lower down, line the front foot, lower the left heel, swing up. My right side's a little on fire from that. Maybe you start to find a little bit of movement in your warrior two, gently bending into that right knee. Ooh, I was going to say find a deeper warrior two, but my foot slipped into it. Perfect. Arms are strong, looking forward. Let's inhale, straighten the legs and straighten the arms. And then exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach. This time we kick the hips out behind you and let the right hand come down for triangle pose, Trikonasana. You can always have your block under your right hand. If your arm comes all the way up here, avoid the knee. I mean, don't put pressure on the knee. It's okay if you lightly touch it. Your triangle can be all the way up here. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with, finding the modifications you need in your pose. It's not a competition. Open up that left shoulder. Let's flip the left palm to face behind you and let the hand come down your back. Maybe you even are able to reach around and grab that inner right thigh. Maybe, big maybe, right? From here, lift that left arm up. Start to bend the right knee and let the left hand come down, flip onto the left toes, lifting the left heel, and reach that right arm up to the sky. Hand comes down, step the right foot back, plank pose, and high to low, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra to downward facing. Take 3 breaths to stay in downward dog. And look forward, step one foot to the next. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Long, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up for chair pose, Utkatasana. And we're going right into twist to the left, hands to heart center, twisted to the left, preparing for the other side. Leaning into that left thigh, lift up and down that right heel, preparing for our lunge, stepping it back when you feel ready. Nice. Not an easy pose. If you fall, just laugh at yourself in a nice way. You don't have to take this too seriously. We're just moving. Nice. Hands come down. Plant the right heel. Warrior two. Open to the right side. I'm going to turn around and face you so you don't see my backside the whole time. Arms are strong. Maybe you come in and bend that left knee. Straighten it a little bit. Find some movement in your warrior two today. Nice. From here, we're going to inhale, straighten the leg, reach up. Exhale, bend and reach. Inhale, straighten. Draw the belly in. Exhale, bend. Inhale, hug the belly in, reach. Exhale. Last time, inhale, reach, hug the belly in. Kick the hips out behind you. Lower down left hand triangle pose, Trikonasana. Reach the right arm up. Again, your left hand can be on that block. Your left forearm can be on that left thigh. You don't have to be super low here to be in triangle pose. Take a couple breaths. Externally rotating the arms. Maybe you flip the right palm, let the hand come down behind the back. Maybe, again, the big maybe, try to grab the inner left thigh with the right hand. Start to bend that left knee, undo the arm if you have it behind your back. Right hand comes down to the floor. Flip the right heel up to the sky and open up that left arm to the sky. Every time I look at my bookshelf, it's even fuller. I collect books, I guess. Nice. Let's lower the left hand down. Step it back for plank. High to low, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing to downward. Let's take 3 breaths and take a break. Find some stillness and some peace. Let's come down on the knees and sit back for child's pose. Reach the arms forward. Maybe as we're here relaxing and resting, we think of community. We think of ways that we can contribute. We think of, even though right now we feel disconnected, think of ways you can feel more connected. Whether that's through social media, the phone, classes like this. How can you find a connection to your community? How can you show support for your community? Let's come up to tabletop. It's almost time to come down and take Shavasana. I'm going to swing around back to the front. Let's take a few more moments of strength building before we come down onto our backs. I'm going to come down to my forearms and interlace the hands. I'm going to step my feet back. Let's come into a plank, a forearm plank. Let's just hold this for a moment. Might as well end with a bang. Gripping the hands together. You don't have to have them. You can lower them down. Sometimes it can be nice to grip something though. Hug the belly in and scoop the tailbone underneath. Press down into the forearms, spread the shoulder blades, but also let them sit into the socket. It's kind of finding that good middle zone. Maybe you find some shifting forward and back. Shaking is okay. You can probably hear the shake in my voice. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees, puppy pose. So hips are lifted, knees are under the hips, and you can have the arms reaching forward and lower the belly and chest down toward the floor. Maybe you look toward the fingertips, Anahatasana. Nice, let's come up and swing the feet around and behind, coming onto our backs. Let's continue that trend of opening the heart. So before the end of class, usually I end with some kind of bridge or something like that, but let's end with a nice shoulder opener. So let's roll to the right side and let the left forearm come underneath the back, palm on the floor, roll back onto the forearm. Your knees can stay bent or they can extend and go flat on the floor. So your left elbow's at a 90 degree. You're laying on top of that left arm, palm on the floor. If it feels too intense, go ahead and bend the left knee and push yourself a little to the right off of that left side. That'll help relieve some of that intensity. Otherwise, just lay here and breathe. Take 3 more deep breaths. Listening to the music, allowing it to wash over you. Nice. Press into the left foot as you bend the knee. Roll to the right under the arm. Roll back onto your back and let that left arm cross over your chest and hug it in with the right hand. Other side. Let's bend over to the left, bring the right hand underneath the back, right elbow at a 90-degree angle, palm on the floor, roll onto the arm. And you can lower the legs. Or of course, you can bend the right knee and push yourself out of the pose a little to relieve some of that intensity. Otherwise, close the eyes and stay and breathe. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Nice. Roll to the left, under the arm, roll back onto your back. Right arm cross in front of the chest, hug it in with the left hand. See how much time we have left here. Perfect. I'm gonna hug my knees in toward my chest. Or you can take a happy baby. One final hip opener as you rock a little side to side. I think it might be time for that nap, actually, even though I just woke up. Nice. When you feel ready, go ahead, lower all the way down for Shavasana, corpse pose. Maybe you like to take Supta Baddha Konasana, recline bound angle pose, soles of the feet together, knees open. It can be nice if you have a block to lift the hips up, bring the block underneath the hips, and let the legs come up toward the sky. You can also do it with a blanket. I believe in yin, this is called seagrass, I want to say. Your legs kind of sway in the sky. Wherever you are, close the eyes. Maybe, today I would normally say feel a sense of peace and comfort and quietness. But understandably, right now, it's hard to feel peaceful with so much unrest. But maybe you find a sense of peace in the idea that the community that supports you and that you support is coming together for a common cause. The peace comes from that understanding that you all share a connection, you all share a goal, and you all share the belief that you are all connected. Let your shoulders and hips fall down towards the floor. Feeling your heartbeat. Your legs are lifted slowly. You can lower them. Removing the block. Then roll onto one side. When you're ready, slowly you can make your way to an easy seated pose. Inhale, lift the arms up and overhead. Welcoming in the new day, the sunshine, maybe the clouds, maybe the rain, whatever weather you're having. Welcome in whatever the earth has determined for your day. And the hands down at heart center. The light and dark in me loves and honors the light and dark in you. Together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Again, I want to remind everyone that might have come late. This whole week, we're not accepting donations, or we're asking you to donate instead of to us when you take our class, but to different organizations, charities, and funds that are related to or similar to the Black Lives Matter movement. I put it in the chat and I will put it in again in a moment.